what battleground will we be playing on? The answer will be Infernal Shrines, and Trick Esports has the map choice.
That's definitely a map where we could see the roaming Azul again. And guys, I mean, it's a bit of a meme at this point, but basically the entire roaming Azul references is a reference to Alex the Prodigy bringing Zul back into the game, as every other team said that Zul just doesn't have any place in the meta. He played it a lot in his private time on his stream as well, to an extent where he said, you know what, I actually think that if you make sure that Zul is targeting more to killing heroes instead of just simply soaking lanes, then you can make it work. They put it into play just before the Zul changes through patches came through and had good success with it, and now every now and then when it actually fits and when they can have that hybrid style between pushing lanes but also trying to pressure heroes on solo lanes a little bit more, when they think it fits, they pull it out here, and you could just see it in the last game. So that's what the roaming Azul references to. So it's just an Alex the Prodigy special.
Well, so far from Zealots, we've been seeing a lot of ETC, but they used to pull the stitches off on Infernal Shrines, going for those hooks. They used to be a team, while they were vulnerable, as you mentioned, they did rely on a lot of pick compositions. We'll see if that will come back in here as we move into Infernal Shrines. Abathur with the ban from the Zealots.
Yeah, Abathur banned out right away. Could see Oriel also being banned here. This is one of these weird ones again. You have a lot of potential bans at this point. Oriel can be targeted, you can target Uther, Dehaka even is a potential ban if you're afraid that Zarmani is going to jump on Dehaka once again. But of course on this map also for Zarmani, Sonya would be really strong. We've seen them earlier with a double tank even. And you have to also question that ETC that you pointed out. Is it something that the Zealots might even prioritize to an extent where they use the first pick for him? So Trick has to now consider how much of a threat they think that's going to be for them.
Well, so far they have been. It was something that they did focus on. It was either Stitches or ETC for them, no matter what in the first couple of weeks of the HGC. And now Mopsio is looking more comfortable than ever on that hero, so definitely something that has to be considered. Oriel gets banned on out, and now it's about the first pick. What do we get? It's going to be Tassadar.
Yeah, Tassadar finds himself back in one of the first pick positions. So Oriel banned out, that's one of the options that I talked about. With Tassadar or Taken, there's a lot of flexibility for Zealots if they themselves want to go into some kind of Tracer composition, if they want to play around in Illidan, for example. Lunara, Vala still excelling here as well in their double support setup. Whereas Trick just goes back to what they love to play. Genji for Marker very likely, and Uther for the Divine Shield combo with the Blade. So that's what they've already showcased in a few of these games. Not quite to the success today that we're used to from them, especially when Maka is on the hero. But let's see if the third time is a charm now.
We'll see here. ETC, do you move into it? Are you going to make the big plays for the double support that we've been seeing in the past? Rhaegar, still good with Tassadar. We've seen Brightwing too, actually. Brightwing was something that we got mixed in a lot, especially by Expert in particular. So we'll see if that option is when it comes in later on. It's going to be the Rhaegar into the Dehaka.
Okay, so Zarmani has his Dehaka, Rhaegar is taken. And you know, this could actually be the adjustment because of what you said earlier. ETC and Stitches. Both of them have been played by Mopsio quite a bit. Can also go into a Johanna play here on this map. It really caters towards the objective too. So those are definitely heroes that are still available. So they have a huge variety of things they can bring to the table now. I don't think they have to be as one-dimensional as picking ETC this early. But Trick is already thinking a little bit about the potential damage dealers that Zealots could try and pick up here. And the one thing they're worried about is Vala with Rhaegar and Tassadar support. Now that leaves Lunara still open as one of the traditional choices. Keep in mind that we have also seen quite a bit of Cassia that played with the double support here. That's another option. And we're also... Illidan is not going to be a concern anymore since Dehaka has already picked and they are still in need of a main tank.
I mean, when you're thinking about Poik, though, it's between Vala and Lunara. I think I bet out the Vala. His Vala has been quite scary in the past. Lunara, we haven't had as much games with him on to actually for me to give you a really good idea of what he brings to the table. But that Vala is definitely worthy of a ban when you think about the Zealots.
Yeah, I could have considered also maybe a Greymane being seen. Tracer is still another hero that I'm thinking about, and it doesn't... With Tassadar it really works well. The problem is just simply that on Infernal Shrines, Tracer is usually not really the hero that you're afraid of when we're talking about the objective. And you have Uther already against you, so that makes it already a little bit problematic. You have that point and click stun on Uther. The Zealots ban out Sonya, so Alex cannot jump on her and use her on the shrines to establish that presence.
But Arthas is up.
Yeah, Arthas is up for one of the first, like not for the first time, but one of the few times, so we could definitely see an Arthas play. And on this map, Arthas is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was saying here. I mean, granted, Arthas, not something that you go to right away on every single Battleground, but Infernal Shrines, a very tasty treat. You're able to use him for clearing out the shrines, great for controlling the corridors, also wonderful for stopping your opponent. But we're going to get Diablo and Gul'dan. Gul'dan I expect from Esports. Diablo, I haven't seen as much from them.
Yeah, Remaball on Diablo, I've seen it a few times, but that also leaves still Alex open. So we have now Gul'dan for Crosby, and Alex could still jump onto Arthas here. But as I said before, this is another map where we have seen them use Zool.
We'll see if Zealots don't have the proper wave clear. They do right now with Rhaegar, Tassadar, and Dahaka. Zool could be something you move into, especially if they only win to one hyper carry. You can get those skeletal mages, drop it on that back line, let Gul'dan just shell away constantly.
And with this, are we going to see that ETC and Lunara that we talked about earlier, or are they switching it up a bit? You could still go into the Johanna play instead. Yeah. And also, I don't know. Lunara, Tracer with Tassadar, they would excel here, but still.
Well, we're about to find out. A couple of seconds here, we're going to get the damage that we need for sure. Ooh, it's Garrosh and Lunara.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So far in EU, Garrosh has not won yet, right?
Yes,
They played 3 times, 0 and 3, if I remember correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Zealots defy stats. Even though it's small, simple size, will he defy stats here? They have the ability to control the space here. Diablo will have an easier time engaging, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Diablo overall has such... One of the reasons why you pick Diablo and Infernal Shrines is that you have so many possible stun locations, walls where you can just like stun and target with a Shadow Stalk. And lo and behold, it is Zool again from Alex the Pro G.
Zool one trick confirmed, and
yeah.
I'm okay with it. Infernal Shrines here. So if you look at the matchups right away, who do you lead towards?
I just don't want Garrosh to lose again.
Yeah? You want the Orc to win?
I mean, at least a pity win at this point, right?
That's definitely a reason why I tricked Esports should lose this game, so Garrosh gets the victory.
I mean, he's hailed as one of the 4 riders of the apocalypse. He represents war, and he has just been beaten up all day long. That's not really very
To be fair, this is pre-buff. He got buffed a little bit. Next patch, he'll be a little bit stronger, so that might be what it is.
Maybe. Still pretty embarrassing if your alter ego is war.
Well, we'll see if they'll be able to pull off the win here. It is going to be Infernal Shrines. The control is going to be very needed here for Zealots. Garrosh has got to land those combos, get the engages he wants, but at the same time, he has to make sure he's not landing the Diablo throw. You throw a Diablo into your team, they're not going to be very happy.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Trick has a scary lineup. There's a lot of stuns, a lot of disables. Crosby is really good on Gul'dan. Not quite sure if Zealots can handle this. I could see a 5th game.
Well, let's do it. Game number 4 here. Will we get a 5th game between our 2 teams, or will Zealots get a victory over Tricked Esports? Let's do it. Infernal Shrines.
Infernal Shrines as our 4th map, and Tricked has definitely started to fight back into the series. Now we have them on the left side with Crosby on Gul'dan, Gnape on Uther, Alex the Pro G again with Zool, whereas Make is finally back on his Genji, and Remaballer is on the Lord of Terror himself, Diablo.
On the right side, it's going to be the red team here. Mopsio playing the Garrosh, Shad on Tassadar, Puig on Lunara, Zarmany and Dahaka, and Grandpa playing Rhaegar.
Alrighty, so Shad on the Tassadar. Those Force Walls are going to be frightening. At least we're expecting a couple of Force Walls here. Might want to head into Archon if they are afraid of the damage output, but we're going to talk about that later. For now, though, we're currently looking at, or I'm looking at least at Zool, and I want to see what Alex can pull off this time.
We'll watch that Zool, but for me, I'm watching that Garrosh and the Dahaka. We saw it yesterday with Justin playing the Garrosh and having the Dahaka from Goku always get the engages they want. Here it is, actually. If they go in for a fight, they throw a member. It's going to be Rimmer. Rimmer turns around and turns a fight on as Make is trying to go in as well, and Zarmany will fall.
Yep, Zarmany is down, and therefore the first kill already confirmed on the side of Tricked Esports, opening the game up once again with a bit of a victory. So they are definitely starting to find the rhythm here.
That they are, and the rhythm will continue in the bottom as they push in the lane, head towards the middle as well. Zool on the top pushing in as Dahaka will have to clear it out, but Zealots starting the game off a little on the rough side.
I mean, overall, that alone doesn't really worry me too much just yet. An early kill usually doesn't do too much for you, at least when it comes to the mid lane scenarios. It's a little bit of experience that you gain, but as long as there are other heroes on the lane that can still soak the minion XP, that's the most important thing. It becomes a little bit more crucial when we have the death timers increasing later on. But there's a lot of pressure coming overall already from the side of Tricked, and I like that quite a bit, that they're currently aggressively rotating. Alex, on the other hand, gets thrown, and Garrosh, look at that, Mopsio with some value here. That was a good one.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere, too. Was not expecting that. Came from the shadows as Garrosh throws him into the middle of the
Diablo.
fight. Good job, Outdoor. Is that one of your German jokes where in your mind you're just like, this is hilarious?
I hate you a little bit right now, but yeah.
Oh,
Goes
man.
in with a goofy laugh and makes fun of me.
Okay. I've seen it already, man. You can't
There's
make fun of my
another
laugh.
one, look at that.
No! And he pulls him in once again here. 5v4
Yeah.
in the middle. Shad comes in and harasses, but...
That's stuff that you've been talking about a bit earlier today when we were talking about Dahaka in combo with Garrosh.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. Go for the throws, drag him in, drop the Qs in. Groundbreaker pulls it off. Pretty darn good, man.
Yeah. No, we've been talking about it. That's all I'm saying. Stop laughing!
Such a weirdo right now.
I'm trying to set you up here, and it's not working at all.
I'm not seeing
Just
the oop.
ignoring it.
I'm not seeing the oop. Go the alley, man. So we're clearing the top lane, and this is an Arcane Punisher, so both teams definitely want to be here. Mopsio goes in for another engage, finds Make. Dahaka's in the middle, so no follow-up on that drag, but here he comes finally at the brush talk. Misses out on the tongue, though.
Yeah, in experience, they are both still dead, even on level 5. We have the kill for a kill on the count now, but level 4 talents, of course, already being taken here. And with that, now we also see, again, Crosby just firing away with a wave clear. Again, there's the throw. Remaballer, the one that's being thrown now, though. And also Garrosh attacked as Alex immediately starts to drop the Bone Prison on him. And Mopsio drops down to half HP. But they're still ahead when it comes to the minion stacks.
Just barely, though. 20 to 18. Continues to fight back and forth. Alex sitting in the middle. Zomni sharking around looking for another drag. Will find Nape, but didn't quite have the throw they were looking. Diablo is found. He gets thrown into a turret. He turns around with the charge. He's low on health, but still alive.
Mopsio, on the other hand, is the one who's starting to drop low. Gets the shield from Tacida and is able to heal up once again. But this is actually a really long fight that we're having here.
Yeah.
No victims on either side just yet, but there's so much to sustain on both
there's
sides.
a victim. That poor minion just got shredded by the turret.
Yeah, and Alex moving in once again. Rama is down and he's the first one to die, but immediately Rhaegar follows, so it's again the trade. But look at Crosby, body blocked here, and the drag. Mopsio absolutely spot on when it comes in on these skill shots.
Wow, man, he is definitely making the ground tremble here with that Groundbreaker hitting multiple members. 3 people did die there for Trick, only 1 for Zealots, and they will take this long, drawn-out fight, and they get the Punisher.
Yeah, they do, and Mopsio really is doing a solid job with this. I'm actually a little bit surprised how effective he currently is with the Groundbreaker overall. He had so many good pulls already. It makes it a little bit easier, I think, also that on the Shrine everybody is just, by definition, to an extent, clustered up. So he has some really good targets up there at the front. But that was still a pretty long fight that we saw here between them. It's also a bit of a different build that we're seeing for him now. The Thirst for Battle now taken as the level 4 talent and then into the fray on level 7. Now keep in mind that earlier we were talking about Garrosh being used as a potential counter against double support, and Lunara we saw Intimidation instead used on level 7, but now into the fray so that he can also throw his own teammates either out of the fight or into the backline of the opponent's team.
And so far, doing just that has got them a slight experience lead. Nothing too crazy that Tricky Sport cannot handle here, especially with having their Zool on the field to be able to clear out the minions and get that experience back themselves. But so far, the deadly combo of Dahaka Garrosh is really making a case to be a mainstay for a majority of these teams. Another engage, get a hit here as Rimmer is on the side.
Yeah, and Mopsio could go for the... Make goes actually pretty deep right now, gets immediately thrown and attacked here.
Ooh.
No follow-up just yet, but oh my god, there's Splintered Spear value already by Poik, and a good stun into the corner as Ramaballer wants to go for Garrosh, and they get the kill against Mopsio. Well done. Zarmany on the way back out has to use his burrow as the Bone Prison hits hard. Trick forcing them back. The Zealots on the retreat, but still in a slight experience lead.
Good turnaround there by Trick Esport. For a second there, I thought Make was going full crazy, man, and he went in for the dive, didn't realize that the throw had been put up there by Garrosh. Same time, though, Nabe taking some damage on the left.
Yeah, a lot actually. Dragged into the tower range even, and then eating the Lunara damage. But we have, in the meantime, Zul just poking away at that mid lane. But the important thing for the Zealots is that they are still at even experience, even a little bit ahead when it comes to comparison. Because we're talking about level 10 soon, and that's, of course, the most important part as the next shrine is just announced.
Both teams should be looking for that 10-2 with the shrine activating in the next 10 seconds. It'll be down to the very far south. Dahaka already clearing up that minion wave. There is a full wave experience in the top. Zealots, will they send someone to go get that? Yes, they are sending Tassadar, so they should be able to get level 10 and also get that Merc camp pushing in the top.
And that Merc camp left alone can actually do a whole lot of work. There's a level 10 now already, so let's see what they can do with that. Also, we have the mass taunt on the side of Garrosh right now on level 10, going straight into the Warlord's challenge.
No choice yet for Tassadar. Wondering if we'll get a force wall, go for a combo, pull someone back, keep the rest at bay. We're going to see here as Shad starts to move on in. The lead is in favor of Trick Esports, 18-11.
Yeah. Time is working in favor of the opponent, though, in favor of Zealots, because the camp at the top lane is still getting value. But down here, the fight for the Immortal is just in full force. Isolation being used. Here comes the Horrify. Oh, the drag just barely missing. Apocalypse being used. Nice combo on Tassadar, but he gets away. Mopsio, on the other hand, does not. That is the end of Garrosh, and Zarmany is also low as Trick Esports wins another fight and will claim another Punisher.
Zarmany a bit off on Dahaka today. That cleanse coming through from the Rhaegar. They committed to the idea of going effectively into the Gul'dan and trying to get a kill. The tongue missing out allowed for that APOC to pop off, and then Garrosh got melted by Gul'dan turning around, dropping the corruption.
That cleanse was absolutely fantastic. That was perfect. And if Zarmany hits the drag, then this is a great scenario for them to be in. But at least they got the fort at the top lane. And, you know, that's actually really big. That camp did so much work for them. And now, even if they lose some structures down here at the bot lane, it's still going to be a worthy trade.
That it will be. If they're able to handle the defense here, Garrosh is already in that front line. The Punisher will start to be focused down by everyone here from the Zealots as the Dahaka does the double lane soak thing. Going in the middle, going to the top here, and that Punisher actually gets handled pretty easily. So, all said and done, Zealots walk away pretty happy. Yeah.
From a structural point of view, they have taken the lead thanks to the top camp. And that, of course, means that any Punisher they take later on up at the top lane is going to start pressuring Keep. And even if they just time one of their camps again around the time of the shrine itself, it should give them a bit of a lead. And they actually, at this point, want Genji. But good job by Make getting out of there. You can really see how they started to circle him on the minimap and really wanted to take him down. But Make was able to escape.
I think that's the story of Genji. Everybody wants him, but they never get him.
Yeah, but there's nothing more satisfying than taking a Genji down. I guess killing Abathar is similar.
That's true. Yeah, definitely top 3.
Yeah, my top 3 would be Abathar, Genji, and Tracer.
Abathar, Genji, Chromie for me. When you kill Chromie, it feels so good.
Yeah.
Good talk.
I can see that. I was just thinking, yeah.
She just pokes away all day at you, man. You got a diver. I legit.
Do you really want to talk about Chromie?
No.
I'm holding back here, so I'm trying to be nice. Again.
Well, 13.
It goes against my nature. I hope that you know that.
You're so kind today. Look at you. 3 nice things today.
I had a good breakfast.
You're good for them. You had a banana or something. All right, 13.
Really, bananas? No.
2 bananas are yummy. 13 for 13 soon here for our teams. Trying to get the middle lane and the bottom lane pushing. Zealots. Map control a little bit in their favor. This roaming Zul not being as effectively sold last game, but definitely still floating around.
I mean, what surprises me, or what I find pretty fascinating, is how dead even these two teams are if it comes to experience and just stats overall. 4 kills against 4, both of them just hit level 13, and it's really even fights the entire time. Whenever we see a big battle, it's never one team walking away with 3-4 kills. It's always just that 1 kill that you get, and then the opponent moves out. But as we are progressing, the death timers are of course increasing, so they can really try and attempt to get a bit more out of these small advantages. And it's all about the shrine up at the top lane now. Mopsio already getting in position. Lunara, by the way, committing to the giant killer here. over potentially greater spell shield against Gul'dan.
Well, this is indicate that they don't mind throwing the Diablo then. They're wanting to get the Diablo thrown in. They don't mind seeing him down. With that Giant Killer being here, they want to burn him down as quickly as possible, especially with that Devil's Due at level 1. So don't mind seeing that with the souls building up. Diablo comes quite scary to fight.
Yeah, they go for Genji. Make barely getting out, even getting cleansed, but once again, the Apocalypse is used. This time not hitting too much. They're going for Make again, not hitting him, but the drag is connecting against Gul'dan, and the Divine Shield is used, but Uther had to reposition himself for it, and he is all of a sudden down, and they're not stopping there. They're going in for the rest of them. They're dropping Gul'dan, and they're going for Diablo now.
They get him too. Rimmer will fall. He'll come back due to his souls, but that does mean he will be reset. They're looking at Make too. Can they get the final hit here on him? Looks like they will not be able to do so as Make gets out, but they turn around, focus down the wall, open the keep. They have a good 10 seconds to do so, so why not?
Yeah, they don't even have to go for the keep. Just open the wall. You have Rhaegar already on the shrine, and then with the Punisher, you can finish the job. Zealots today are just looking like a different team. They're looking so strong right now. This is them just starting to come back into Phase 2, Part 2, but it's pretty impressive. The games that they've played so far, the coordination that they've shown, and now on this map, which could potentially be the last one in the series, they have an opportunity to get the match win, and that would be such a big win for them in the standings.
Zealots defying expectations and potentially defying the win rate here of Garrosh at 0%, looking to get him a victory here. They've been pulling it off quite well. 16 right around the corner, and with Dahaka in the middle, they should be able to grab that. Now, they shouldn't be able to do too much with this Punisher, but they're already put themselves in a great spot to maybe get a pick.
We have a push at the bot lane on the other hand, though. Okay, Zul and everyone else is moving back away again. They were trying to see if if maybe Dahaka is trying to soak the bot lane before moving up top, which wasn't really the case. So it was a bit of a standoff there, but the 16 talent has now hit, and the Zealots' objective is, of course, pretty clear. They want the keep.
They get a throw?
They can't really take the core just yet, but keep is reasonable. Now Mobsio is being attacked, though, and he is locked down hard.
The horrified Ancestral, though, it's going to be fine as Mobsio's going to be able to live.
Yeah, and at this point, the keep is, of course, forfeit. No chance of saving that, and now the Zealots can just simply move out. They achieved everything they needed to do. The keep is down. The only thing that the Zealots have lost so far is their bottom fort. We have them in an experience lead with entire level and entire talent. And yeah, doesn't get any better than that at this point. So kudos to the Zealots. So far, they've played a pretty impeccable game.
And they're hoping to maybe get some more here. As they head down, Dahaka will find Make. Make's going to go ahead and beeline away. But Trinity Sport, although they've been getting beat up, kind of, they lose that on the keep in the top left. Catapult's pushing in. They are going to get 16. They are staying up in experience, so all should be well, especially after Diablo gets his souls back. So they're not completely out of this game yet, but Zealots,
yeah,
they're just making a big case.
Trid isn't out by any means. They have 16 talents now, and if they get a good combo off with their heroics, if they have a good Horrify, they can always start one of these fights with a kill. And with them now grabbing 16, they have at least one more fight on even talents for the Punisher. So there's still a lot of potential for them to come back into this. It's just overall that the Zealots have definitely improved a lot and are now in a position where they have the lead in this particular game. But again, Trick isn't out of this just yet, and they cannot prove that. Keep in mind that Rema has lost his soul, so that's a big problem.
Yeah, you see him take a massive amount of damage there, only from both Dahaka and the Thorn Divine coming in. Loses about a quarter of his health. Important for him to get those souls back. Lucky for him, there are some tasty souls in the top if he has a chance to go up there. But Trick is actually looking for the fight. And
Trick has, of course, a huge power spike on 16, as did the Zealots earlier. They have the Benediction stuns now available to them. And they also have the reset on cooldown for Diablo. Once again, here comes Genji. Goes in, slicing and dicing, but Alex is low. We have one mob at the front, Mobsio with an attempted kill, but it's Genji who drops the first target, and it's Rhaegar who has lost his life here.
But he got the Ancestor healing off, which is enough for the team to continue chasing. Lenaro with the slows was able to keep up multiple fights here, and Uther does fall, so supports have fallen for both of our teams.
Again, it's the even trade. Every single time we're seeing them fight here, it's just them trading one hero for another. And of course, one of the saving graces for the Zealots is that with a double support setup, they still have at least Tassadar for his shields and the 20 seconds until Rhaegar is back. So a lead in the minion stacks already for the Zealots as Trick is starting to move back in again.
Now they are. Zealots, though, have already started on the Shrine. Have 10, 11, 12 as they continue to move up. Zarmani helping clear out. They just have to play safe because Catapults were on the top and Genji had to clear it out.
Yeah, with Genji visible at the top. Oh my god, Zarmani. That was the easiest drag of his life and he actually missed that. But Rema is in trouble. Those displacements that we're seeing from Garrosh the entire time have such a huge impact. And with now Diablo down for the entire duration, this is another Punisher that you just simply have to give up. You can't fight for this one.
I can see why a lot of pros look at Garrosh and they go, we don't know how strong he is. You have one moment where right now he looks incredibly strong, and then you have a game like we saw earlier where it feels like he's not getting much done. It seems like it really comes down to the skill of the individual player and the follow-up.
Yeah, getting good displacements is absolutely crucial. And again, I think the map really has a lot to do with it as well, since you are just forced to move into Garrosh on this map if you don't want to give up the Shrine. So that makes those shots a bit easier. Marker already baiting the Punisher over, but we have seen the wall at the side eliminated, so that allows Zealots to dive in with the Punisher. Once that's done, they want to at least get the second keep here.
They're moving in. Aggressively, too, making it where Crosby has to pull back. The Bone Prism was used to keep him at bay, but they turn around and focus the keep. A big play for the keep, and it seems to pay off.
Yeah, second keep would already be a big victory, but the fight is already starting here in the back as we have the Divine Shield not used yet, but the Dragon Blade is in full action and they're moving in. Mopsio is stunned once, twice, gets Apocalypse and goes down. First kill, second kill against Dehaka. And we have Trick Esports building up that momentum as Maka dashes in again for a third kill against Tassadar.
Tassadar able to get the kill on Uther, though, before they do fall victim, which may make it a bit more difficult for Trick Esports to answer back if they want to move in for some structure. Zealots will be moving towards level 20 at the same time, and they have 2 people up for defense. So nothing too crazy should pop up for Trick Esports. And all said and done, Zealots got the keep.
Yeah, they got the keep and core damage as well. 88% right now on the core, so even though the Punisher didn't have a lot of hit points left, it was enough to break through the shield and put some damage on. Nothing crazy, but if you are later on trying to rush for core with the Punisher, it makes your job a little bit easier. The Zealots at this point have hit 20, and Trick, thanks to the kills they got, with 8 kills overall against 10, still in favor of Zealots, Trick has at least closed the gap and is now working pretty fast towards level 20 for themselves. So again, a fight on even talents is about to break out here.
So this is a moment where we need to see if Zealots, as they continue to improve as a team, can they handle the late game when things get a little bit tough. They have a nice advantage here where they have the top lane and the bottom lane constantly pushing in. Thank you to Catapults. But how will they utilize that to their advantage when they move into the next Shrine phase? Will they force a fight a little bit too preemptively, or will they dance around similar to what we've seen a lot of teams do as of late?
Yeah, I mean, it depends a lot, I feel, what's going to happen once we are seeing where the next Shrine is spawning. And that's definitely going to play a huge role. The Haka also, of course, has such a huge effect on this right now. Keep in mind, on level 20, we have Death Wish taken for Garrosh. So the duration of Warlord's Challenge is actually increased at this point. That's already going to help a lot. But at the same time, if you are able to kill a hero while he's under the effect of the heroic ability, the cooldown is also significantly reduced by 45 seconds. So the way that Mopsio has been playing this so far was pretty solid, and that should give them a lot more utility in these fights, especially if he's able to move into the backline with it.
Well, Shrine activating soon, so Trick is doing their best to push out the lanes that they can, running towards the bottom, and this is going to work out in their favor. Having the bottom lane pushing out means that they'll have less catapults to deal with, so they can move to the top and force a fight. They will have to be careful, though, as Mopsio will be lurking around in the shadows here, looking for a fight.
The one thing that also is quite important to note is that with this Punisher, Zealots could definitely go for core. Like, no doubt about it. With 88% on the core at this point, and the keep already gone, this would be a big one. The Haka is still in the mid lane and is starting to soak the experience here. And he could also, of course... I mean, look at that bot lane wave alone. He doesn't move to the bot lane, but we have a massive, massive wave moving through the bottom lane, and that is eventually going... That has to force a reaction. Trick is in a really bad spot now.
Trick did clear up the catapult, so it makes it a little bit easier, but they will have to respawn soon. You're right, that stacks up over and over again constantly here. Zealots are sharking around. Here comes Dehaka. They decided to move on in.
Yeah, Dehaka moves in, and as long as they buy time, they are going to get value out of that bottom wave. And already 88% on the core, so this is... They need to force this fast. And at this point, Horrify is being used. Mopsio being attacked right away, and there is no Ancestral. There is no chance. This is the kill that they needed, and immediately we have Divine Shield on Genji as he starts to go in, slicing away, trying to get the second kill in the reset, and he does, as we have the Haka fallen. Great job here by Trick, They need to send someone back, and it's going to be Alex, as the catapults are homing in on the core. But this was perfect for Trick. That couldn't have gone any better for them.
That couldn't have. The Horrify landing there. They focused down the garage as immediately as they could there, keeping Rhaegar away from the fight so the Ancestral could not connect. And they'll be able to get this Punisher. So Trick Esport is in a good spot to start making the comeback. They still have to get through the layers of defense that is up for the Zealots, the top and the right keep that is already available.
And this is what the Zealots bought themselves with how well they played this game so far. They bought themselves a second chance after this. Even though we're late in the game and the death timers are long, thanks to them holding on to their fort, Trick has to go through the fort and then through the keep before they can go for the core. So the Zealots, they live to fight another day, even though they lost the last fight here. But overall, it's still pretty impressive to see how Trick, in this fight in particular, was able to make all the right moves. And especially since they had a very small time window in which they needed to go for it. But let's see how the defense is going to work out for the Zealots here.
So have to be careful there. The Haka did die and lose out on his essence, which means he will be a little bit less durable than he normally is. Trick Esports making the big play to move on in. Nafe will get hit with the Earth, but it is not enough, and they are making a big play to move in for the core. Dahaka locked down by the Punisher.
Yeah, Punisher baited into the middle on the other hand. Isolation used already, and we have the ult of Garrosh dropped right away. Garrosh moving away here, but once again,
Lunara.
Diablo with the combo. Lunara is low, and she's down. The Horrify was perfect, and we have Garrosh extremely low as well as Dahaka falls, and all of a sudden, Trick Esports is aiming for a victory.
They may be able to get it here too, without much damage on the field. Mopsio's coming around trying to peel off on the Genji. The core continues to fall, and the Zealots will lose out on the last team fight. Trick Esports finds a way to tie up the series here, as it's going to go to 2-2, and we're going to get a game number 5.
Wow, that was a pretty impressive one there at the end, with the Punisher moving through the fort, the keep, and dropping the core after they got the kills. Super important that that last fight, when they moved in, they got the kills, and this time the syncs were perfect. Diablo initiates, drops the Apocalypse, gets the combo off into the Apocalypse stun. Right after that we have Horrify, and through this entire chain there was just nothing that Rhaegar could do. All of a sudden it kills tickle in, and with a 5 versus 3 scenario, nobody can stop Tricked anymore as they go straight in for the core. It's a little bit sad for the Zealots. They bought themselves arguably another opportunity, but then they lost the heroes and that ended the game.
They're playing well, but you have to play well throughout the entire series here, and that means in game number 5, they have to show up. Let's go ahead, go to a commercial, and come back with game number 5. This is the HGC.
Kel'Thuzad is a ranged burst mage that